Legends never die. When the world is calling you.
在武汉打比赛的话，就是肯定会有武汉很多粉丝过来支持我，然后会让我打得越来越好吧，然后我也会成为武汉选手的骄傲的。
Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die. They become a part of you.
The most positive theme to Worlds that I've always seen is that whatever happened before in the year has no impact to what happens now.
Relentless, you survive.
从我最开始第一次进到世界赛到现在，一共是4次了，拿到过2次亚军的嘛，然后觉得每一次都差那么一点点，所以说就觉得是可以拿到冠军的，但是每次都差那么一点点。
Not having anything to show internationally is a big thorn in my side. I read comments like Bjergsen is not considered a legend until he does something internationally, and I can't argue with that.
저희는 저랑 프레이형은 항상 SKT한테 이제 롤드컵을 우승하는 업적을 만들어주는데 공헌이 되는 느낌이잖아요. 왜냐면 저희는 늘 졌기 때문에. 여태껏 제가 실패를 해왔기 때문에 정말 이를 갈고 저뿐만 아니라 모든 팀원들을 다 열심히 이를 갈게 만들어서 꼭 혼심을 다해서 이번 연도는 꼭 우승해보겠습니다.
Legends never die. They're written down in eternity.
전설이 된다는 자체가 애초에 그냥 뭐 e스포츠에 이름을 남긴 거죠. 엄청 잘해서 계속 좋은 폼 계속 보여주고 그걸 꾸준히 유지하고 그러다 보면 이름이 남겨지고 저도 그런 선수가 되길 원하거든요.
사람들은 저를 이기면 전설이 된다 이렇게 말씀을 하시는데 저는 그건 아니라고 생각하거든요. 저도 처음에 데뷔했을 때 제가 앰비션 선수를 꺾고 오랫동안 1등 자리를 유지해왔잖아요. 그렇게 해서 사람들이 전설이라고 많이 말씀을 해주시는데 그런 것처럼 저 같은 사람을 여러 번 꺾어야 전설이 된다고 생각합니다.
在全球总决赛，我对小谢的定义就是一个人完成了一些别人不可能完成的成就，我觉得这个就是传奇。
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Wuhan, China for opening day of the World's 2017 group stage. Over the next 5 weeks, 16 teams from regions all across the globe will fight for the Summoners Cup as the players get ready to step on stage in front of an electric crowd here in Wuhan Sports Center Gymnasium. As we saw in that opening tease, it's all about finding the legends here on the Rift. Faker, no doubt, is one of them, but who will be the one to contend him this year? Who might make a case individually or as a team to take the crown away from SK Telecom and become the new champions of the Rift? Time now, though, to head down to the LPL's Red Dawn to introduce the team.
英雄联盟全球总决赛，现场所有的召唤师们，拿出你们的热情，让我感受一下，好吗？大家好，我是任栋。那经过了一个赛季的征战，16支来自世界各大赛区的顶尖豪门将会在这里向冠军再次发起冲击。现在所有的战队都已经准备就绪了，让我们欢迎战队登场。首先有请 A 组战队。
我们恭喜 EDG 居然在 LPL 的决赛上面完成了让2追3。
但是主堡最终没有人防守的情况下面，我们要恭喜 EpicSkillshot。
Cloud9 will find their 3-0 victory and punch their ticket to the main group event at Worlds 2017.
首先有请3次世界冠军得主，来自于 LCK 赛区的 SKT。Consecutive
world champions SKT here to defend their title again. They may be second seed, but few would look past them as the big favorites for Worlds 2017.
Again, the perennial powerhouse is here. They'll have to put that trophy back up for grabs, see if they can defend it and move on.
再次欢迎 SKT 战队。谢谢 ，Thank you。接下来，让我们请出的是来自于 LMS 赛区曾4次入围全球总决赛的赤色天马 AHQ。
AHQ Esports Club, no slouches when it comes to experience. This is their 4th consecutive Worlds appearance for this organization and this team.
And with a consistent
接下来，让我
roster.
们请出的是北美 LCS 赛区第5次入围全球总决赛的 Cloud9。
Cloud9, the perennial Worlds contenders here from North America. They were the best performing team last year, and they're looking to improve upon it here in 2017.
Sticking on that streak, but all of them since season 3.
接下来将要出场的是来自于本土 LPL 赛区4次入围全球总决赛、5次 LPL 冠军得主 EDG。
And you can hear it in the crowd, the true hometown heroes. Clear Love from Wuhan himself, the most decorated team the LPL has ever seen.
再一次感谢所有 A 组的战队的到来，感谢你们的到来，谢谢 ，Thank you。接下来，让我们请出的是 B 组战队。
Coming into the 2017 Summer Split, Immortals singing a different song.
But it is 1, 2, 3, the coup de grace, and Fnatic are moving on to the groups here at Worlds 2017.
首先有请的是来自于欧洲 LCS 赛区6次入围全球总决赛，并曾斩获首届全球总决赛冠军头衔的 Fnatic。
Former kings of Europe, Fnatic have made their way through play-ins to make a crash landing here at Worlds.
Reckless knows to hold up the loves, the heart sign as well. He knows how to make the crowd
接着
happy.
让我们欢迎来自于 GPL 赛区2次 GPL 冠军得主 GEM。
Now, they may not be the favorites of the group, but without a doubt, the Gigabyte Marines, they capture the hearts of fans across the world for their performance at MSI, earning the 1st seed for Southeast Asia in the GPL.
紧接着，让我们请出的是代表 LCS 北美赛区首次入围全球总决赛的 Immortals。
Immortals rebuilding from spring, massive improvement with the addition of Smithy in summer. This team has come so far and are looking for world success.
Breaking out the yellow jerseys too. I
Looking
like
classy.
接下来，让我们欢迎来自于韩国 LCK 赛区夏季赛新科冠军龙珠战队。
2 years in a row, Prey and Gorilla enter Worlds as the first seed, but on a different organization with a different roster. They are now the experienced duo that have to steady these young players with very little international experience.
再一次感谢所有的 B 组战队，感谢你们的到来，谢谢 ，Thank you。 接下来，让我们请出的是 C 组战队。
EU LCS title, G2 Esports are the best team in Europe.
安吉成为 LPL 赛区第1支进入世界总决赛的队伍。哇，让我们恭喜安吉，恭喜安吉！
1907 Fenerbahçe dünyanın en iyi takımlarından biri. 1907 Fenerbahçe dünyanın en iyi 16 takımı arasında.
首先有请的是来自于 LPL 赛区2016年全球总决赛8强战队 RNG。
You thought the cheers for Clear Love were going to be loud. It's going to match for Uzi himself. He is the legend of this arena.
接着，让我们欢迎连续夺得最近4届 LCS 欧洲联赛冠军的 G2 战队。
The undisputed kings of Europe, G2, coming off a second place finish at MSI, are looking to extend that dominance to the world stage. and see if they can make something happen.
接下来，让我们欢迎土耳其 TCL 联赛夏季赛新科冠军，从入围赛突出重围的1907费内巴切。
The Turkish representative also making their way through plans, a surprise upset, but led by Frozen. They are an explosive team and fun to watch.
接下来，我们将要请出的是2016年全球总决赛亚军，来自于 LCK 的三星战队。
Samsung Galaxy once again crushing the dreams of KT Rolster. No super team from them at Worlds this year, and they were runners-up last year. They only have to go one better to finish their mission.
再次感谢所有 C 组战队的到来，谢谢 ，Thank you。紧接着，让我们欢迎 D 组战队出场。
我们也要恭喜2017年夏季总 LMS 的总冠军闪电狼 Flash Wolf。
TSM cement themselves as the greatest team North America has ever seen, and they are once again your North American champions.
The damage is real, and that is going to be the Misfits. And for this team, things are looking oh so good.
所以这时候就是让我们恭喜 WE 可以拿下了这把6-5以3比0。
首先，让我们欢迎7次全勤入围全球总决赛，来自于北美 LCS 的 TSM。
The undisputed greatest North American team of all time, looking for that world success to cement themselves as
紧接着，
legends.
让我们有请4次制霸 LMS 赛区，曾在2015年入围全球总决赛8强的闪电狼战队。
Consistent greatness for TSM, consistent greatness for Flash Wolves. 4 LMS split wins in a row. They're back again, and they're looking to improve on last year's.
接着，让我们欢迎来自欧洲 LCS 赛区首次来到全球总决赛舞台的 Misfits。
Now this is the surprise team out of the European region, from challenger to the 2nd seed at Worlds in just 1 year.
紧接着，让我们请出的是来自于本土 LPL 赛区的传统豪门，欢迎 TWE。
It's been 5 years since the prodigal sons of China have disappeared from the world spotlight, but they finally return, and the crowd welcomes them.
再次欢迎所有 D 组战队的到来，谢谢 ，Thank you。 英雄志主传奇，2017英雄联盟全球总决赛现在开始。
Those are the 16 teams looking to make their case for best in the world this year at the League of Legends World Championships in 2017. Hello, everyone. I'm James Dash Patterson, joined by Indiana Frosker in black, Chris Papa Smithy Smith, and Isaac Azale Cummings Bentley. It's been 12 months, a full calendar year, and we're back looking for our next legend. How excited are you guys?
I'm back on my home turf. I'm just welcoming you guys at this point.
It's like a kid in a candy shop, man. I mean, it's the beginning of the group stage. So excited to be here.
I mean, the crowd certainly has their favorites, but there's going to be new stars, new favorites built. It's the first day, but there's going to be so much after this.
And of course, we are also joined by some of our international broadcast partners. We have friends from China, of course, as well as the CB LOL joining us. Going to get a look at some of their stations here as we're trying to bring this truly global event to the entirety of the world. All of these regions looking to make their mark on the world stage. Now, before we take a look at the teams, let's remind everyone of the format here at Worlds 2017. The teams will play 6 matches during the group stage, going up against their group opponents in a double round robin. From there, the top 2 teams from each group will advance to the knockout stage, where a win in a best-of-5 series qualifies you for the next round.
And we're already in the thick of it. We've been 2 weeks into the play-in stage. We've got 4 teams that advanced to the group stage, so we went from top 24 to top 16.
There you have it, top 16. Let's break down the strength of our competitors, starting with Group A, which features 4 teams with a long history in this tournament specifically.
And that's the crazy thing. You can see it on the screen. We're talking 3 minimum appearances for each of these teams. They often fit in each other's groups very often. We've seen these matchups before, but now we get to see it with a whole new meta and a whole new crowd.
And anytime you're talking about a group with the 3-time world champions, you have to talk about SKT. This team is unrivaled in League of Legends history, and I think it's going to be a race for second place behind them.
I mean, that said, I do want to give SKT a lot of their credit, but they didn't come out of champions as the #1 seed. There are some cracks in the armor right there, and maybe this group can start to pave away a blueprint to how that can be exploited in the future.
Of course, we take a look at Group B. There's a lot of exciting matchups to look forward to, specifically in the top lane. Of course, eyes go straight to Longzhu's Khan in the top lane.
I mean, you have to, right? That's the big story this year has been, specifically summer season, because remember, it wasn't even the entire year. Khan has come on super strong, taken on all comers. Korea has famously been known for their top lane strength since the days of Mark Noon and Impact many years ago. And now here in Korea, we have Khan, who has been dominant. You can see his stats on the screen. But to me, the big thing about Khan is he started the split well, but so many younger players or so many newer players to the LCK stage have made a good debut. But I think, like everyone, you're like, okay, when are the wheels going to fall off? He's facing Smeb now. He's facing Cuvée now. When is he still going to come back to earth? It never happened. Khan only got stronger.
And I think the most amazing part about it is he's doing it, making his own meta. He's playing carry tops in a world where almost everyone is on tanks, and he's kind of enforcing his will on his opponents.
I mean, we're effectively watching the rise or the possible ascension of another superstar. You know, he took down Faker once. Can he do it again? But there's no slouch in other competition. He's going to have to face across from Flame and Soaz in this group.
Now, of course, being the #1 seed from Korea, a lot of people will look at them to top the group. And so looking at the other 3 teams as they fill out, we've, of course, got Immortals from the North American LCS and Fnatic, a very experienced team when it comes to the world stage. And then the surprise in Gigabyte Marines from MSI. I mean, these guys came in and excited everyone with their style and their vigor.
I talk a lot to the Gigabyte Marines coach. My favorite quote from him is, you don't need knowledge if you have imagination. So if that sets you up to any type of table that the Gigabyte Marines are going to turn over, like, prepare yourselves.
And if Longzhu has a key player in Khan, you have to look at the Gigabyte Marines and talk about Levi. This guy has similar stats to Khan in his role being a standout. And one team we've got builds around their top laner. It's insane in this meta to build around your jungler as well, and yet Gigabyte Marines have made it work.
Of course, you know, Fnatic from the EU LCS, they made it through in the play-ins, did drop a game there, but with the experience that they have, we've heard Reckless talk about what he expects of himself on the international stage. We'll see if they can make their mark.
And we're already starting to see a diversified style from Fnatic as well. The big strength of them is the fact when they can carry from every single lane. Caps was able to show up, Reckless was consistent, so Fnatic fans should feel good about this.
Pushing ourselves ahead to Group C. Let's take a look at the teams we got here. To me, this is the group that has no clear favorites.
And it's such a tough group. I mean, this is the position for G2 that TSM was in last time. They did not make it out, and 4 of the 6 times where there has been a Korean and a Chinese team in a group together, they are the ones to make it out. So G2, best team from Europe, they are in tough in Group C.
And you have RNG and Samsung there. They were in the group of death, Group D, last year. But the thing to take away is you also have 1907 and Fenerbahce, who are in this spot where when you're playing against this team, if you drop even a single game, given how strong and how close we expect the heads-to-heads to be for the other 3 teams, you drop a single game and you might be kissing goodbye your chance to make the quarters.
That tiny margin of error. There's also the huge stylistic mismatch. You know, you have G2, Samsung, and even Fenerbahce to an extent, where they kind of play a patient, methodical, calculated play style, and then you've got the sprinters in RNG just trying to blast off the finish line.
And let's not forget, we talk about accolades. We talk about the 3-time champs in SK Telecom T1, but in this group, we have the runners-up of last year's Worlds in Samsung Galaxy and the runners-up at MSI. So the 2 next most decorated teams within the last calendar year are sitting here in Group C. Let's push ahead to the final group, though, in Group D, where we have the LPL's Team WE looking to build on their performance from that play-in stage.
I mean, for me, this is kind of the group of dark horses. We don't really know what form we're going to get from Flash Wolves, what form we're going to get from Misfits. Team WE had a very slow start in play-on, so maybe looking shaky there, and it really just looks like paved gold for TSM.
And I mean, for TSM, for North American fans, you have to feel if there's a group for them to get out, this is the one. People are expecting them not only to get through, but they're expecting dominance. That is what people want from this team who, you know, failed last year in Worlds, didn't get out of groups. It's the same team back again. They have accrued more international experience, and they're looking to show what they have.
Yeah, my heart dropped for a moment there when you said paved gold. As the NA fans, I'm like, don't jinx us right now. Papa Smithy, though, what's your
low
take
expectations
here on Group D? Exactly, low expectations.
I mean, I was there at the group draw show, and this was very instantly talked about as the group of life. But as I've had time to ruminate and hear about what's happening and look at where the meta is going, I'm not convinced that, say, Flash Wolves, for example, won't pose a pretty significant threat in this group. I think Misfits also could take games, so I think the guaranteed win for TSM that people thought was their initial gut reaction might change.
Again, you talked about Immortals, right? The rebuilding of the roster from spring to summer and qualifying for Worlds Misfits. The EU organization that's done a similar thing from Challenger to Worlds in just a year or so. This is the team that, you know, for me, I'm wondering what their inexperience, rather, on the world stage will amount to, and can they overcome some of those obstacles that a newer team might run into here on the international stage?
They've been learning incredibly fast. We'll see if they can take that to the world stage and really develop.
All right, well, as we round out the groups discussion, let's check out some players that we expect will leave their mark on the group stage. Here is our Best of the Rift, brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. We have Longjuice Khan, C9 Contracts, RNG Xiaohu, as well as some familiar faces in Reckless and Sword Art of Fnatic and the Flash Wolves.
Yeah, Fnatic's Reckless, a huge fan favorite in Europe. He is the Summer Split MVP and has an insane amount of regional dominance there.
I mean, I'm going to stick to Unsung Hero Sword Art, though. I know everyone is tired of hearing Maple Car, so we've touted their story all over this desk. Sword Art is the true carry of Flash Wolves this split. He is having an unreal summer.
Those are the familiar faces. Let's talk about some of the unfamiliar. Papa Smithy?
I mean, Khan is really the word that was on everyone's lips when you're watching the LCK this year. Your eyes were glued to the top laner of Longzhu, and his consistency to play carries upon carries, to have a team with Prey and Gorilla build around a new top laner to the LCK. Sure, he played a single split in 2014 on Prime Optimus, but he wasn't renowned, certainly, to come back 3 years later and be this dominant force, potentially the player to watch at Worlds. It's amazing.
And the team also deserves a lot of credit for enabling him, for playing around him, controlling vision, showing up for 2v2s, and he really does make it worthwhile. But talking about another player who is newer in his rookie year, Contracts, he was the spring rookie of the split, and he has developed so much from them. He has been improving by leaps and bounds, one of the best junglers from North America, and so important to the style that Cloud9 plays with Jensen and this mid lane focus. He is the guy who is enabling him through vision control, through early visits, and the sky is the limit for this player.
And we really saw that in play-ins. You know, he had his famous Nidalee game. He put up huge numbers of that. But that said, last but not least, it is Xiaohu up in that mid lane. And I just have to emphasize how important this guy. On a roster with Uzi, Xiaohu is the true shining light here. He allows them to play their dominating, defining style of a 1-3-1. He can play the assassins, he can play the control mages. But again, it's about how he opens up the edges of the map and he starts pulling the teams around, creating these opportunities where RNG will find picks, find team fights, find victory.
And his consistency was kind of a counterpoint to how much roster turmoil there was over the course of the year with RNG. So he was the bedrock upon which all their success was built. They didn't quite get over the line in the final, but with the fan support they have here, who knows what could happen.
We will see what these players can do as we kick off the group stage here in Wuhan. From First Blood till the Nexus explodes, you can follow Best of the Rift in more places than ever before. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Now the road to the Summoners Cup continues today with 6 best-of-1, starting with the LPL's Royal Never Give Up, taking on 1907 Fenerbahce. From there, we have one more clash in Group C between Samsung Galaxy and G2, before the teams in Group B and A step on stage for the first time. Looking at these 6 games today, what jumps out to you?
I'm so excited for G2 versus Samsung right off the bat. This is going to tell you so much about that group, which is extremely competitive. If G2 can win out there, the hopes are going to get pretty high.
And I'm a man that looks at history, and SKT versus C9, it happens again. You get the top lane with Impact once again.
The clapping round 2.
The clapping in the mid lane, like you say.
No warm-up. You got to go. Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Some games to look forward to over the next few weeks. We're going to see a lot of action and want to know what makes your highlight reel. So hit us up at LOL Esports and send us your big plays using that hashtag Worlds2017. It's time to get the group stage underway, so let's hand it over to our casters to get us into the day's games. Guys, take it away.